shoulder girdle inside line. So now we're going to address in supine, pec major, pec minor. But also now we're going to include the latissimus because of the effect it can have on our impeding the motion of the shoulder girdle, and then subscapularis here on the front, on the inside of the scapula. Okay, and this is my friend Sonu here from Austin, Texas. Here, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. So we're going to start with a little general loosening here, and this is an example of how you let your body weight come through your extended arm to loosen here. So I'm palpating for head of the humerus, and then I'm going to place my palm in the upper fibers of pec major to put some pressure. But rather than push from here, I'm going to lean and let my weight come through my arm. Pressure good?
Yes, sir.
Look, pressure is good. Little guy, big guy. Pressure's good.
Yep.
No effort. It's just this. Taking your weight and letting it come through extended arm. Okay. So one of the primary things we started to see more and more is anterior shoulder. And we think a lot about the pec minor because of the attachment on coracoid process, which pulls shoulder forward. But there's also two other muscles that attach to coracoid process. And it's the head, one of the heads of the bicep brachii and the coracobrachialis. And they both have attachments here. So when they constrict, they add into shoulder rolling forward. So I like to address those two muscles when we're opening up the shoulder girdle. And their location right here. So a good way of doing it is I'm going to compress in with the palm of my hand and then bring the shoulder, the arm down as a lever to roll those muscles back. So you're unwinding them. Pressure's okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just leaning in and I open my stance here, or my kneel, I guess, engaging muscle and then using the arm as a lever to roll both coracobrachialis and the head of the bicep open. So we're just going to do this a little bit. Then I'm going to come up like this. And I'm going to use my forearm to come into pec major, pec minor at an angle where I'm again utilizing my body weight. So I feel again for the head of the humerus. So I'm making myself familiar with the bony landmarks in the area. Head of the humerus, and in this instance the clavicle. So all in here is all pec major, pec minor. So I'm going to take my inside hand and grab a hold of his wrist, and the outside hand is cupping the elbow. And I'm just going to let the arm come like this, create a little slack, and I'm going to follow it in and just lean in like this. My body weight. And how's pressure?
Good.
Easy. Very firm though, very deep and very penetrating if you allow yourself to just let your weight continually sink in. So this position of the arm is important because it softens the muscle, but then it allows us a situation where I use this arm as a pin and stretch. So I'm engaging here, and now this inside hand is going to go out, and this outside hand is going to go in. This is a variation of cloud hands in Tai Chi, one cloud passing over the other. So you keep the pressure here and simply go like this. And you let me know when you feel that muscle engaging more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's already pin and stretch. This motion, so easy. Leaning in, high, you can feel. Yes, good. Easy up. So then come around here, Paige. And y'all, come. So now I'm going to come around like this and take that arm and just open it up. And I'm going to feel on the lateral side the latissimus here. And you know this muscle that makes up the back of our armpit, right? Latissimus. This is all latissimus. So I'm going to use the heel of my hand to go right into the shape and press right down towards the mat to get some loosening. So like we did when we were compressing into the lower musculature of the lower leg. Same thing here, but in the lap. So my heel of my hand is going to come right down on the lap and just lean in with body weight. Pressure okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just squash him down on it. This is what we say, squash him down.
It's a technical term.
Yes, it's a very technical term. Just easy, easy. Addressing all the muscles that help stabilize shoulder girdle. And then I'm going to come to the side to do subscapularis. So subscapularis, one of the sits muscles, one of the rotator cuff muscles. It has strong tendinous attachment to the head of the humerus, which helps keep it stabilized in the shoulder joint. So when someone has a rotator cuff injury, the inquiry should be what muscle particularly, because there's 4 muscles that incorporate, right? Supraspinatus, infraspinatus, the teres, and the subscapularis. S-I-T-S, sits. So here we're doing subscapularis, the muscle in front of the scapula, so it lines the inside of the scapula. But the question is, how to do? How to do? Because it doesn't get worked on very much. It's deep. It's in a sensitive area. How do we do it? Like we approached pec minor, well, with some consciousness and a little bit of anatomical specificity. So I'm going to grab a hold of the wrist of the arm. I'm going to use the pads of my fingers to palpate for the outer edge of the scapula, bony. Then I'm going to turn my hand and come inside the scapula. And I'm going to direct my pressure down towards the subscapularis. So I'm going to feel, it's okay, I'm a professional.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I'm going to feel for the outer edge of scapula, and then I'm going to turn my hands here using my fingertips and going on the inside. So, and as I do that, so I feel, come in, I'm going to lift, relax, in, subscapularis. So feel for that edge here. You got to come in. Oh, here we go. Bring the arm across. Now you go and feel. Subscapularis. So pull up and over. The reason I do that is because when you use the arm here, it takes the scapula from a neutral position and raises it up like this, because you're taking the whole girdle, and then the muscle comes more up to your fingertips. So you don't have to engage, go poking around so much. So you bring the muscle towards you. So we'll try those 3 moves: general loosening of pec major and minor, using our forearm into pec